So let's talk about the first big film from the now defunct Blue Sky Studios, Ice Age, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this month. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Dual, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2002 computer-animated adventure comedy flick Ice Age, released by Fox and produced by Blue Sky Studios in its debut film. Directed by Chris Wedge in his feature directorial debut, and co-directed by Carlos Saldanha, from a screenplay by Michael Berg, Michael J. Wilson, and Peter Ackerman, and a story by Wilson. The film features the voices of Ray Romano, John Leguizamo, Denis Leary, Goran Visnik, Jack Black, and a host of others. Set during the days of the Ice Age, the film centers around the three main characters: a no-nonsense woolly mammoth named Manny, a loudmouth ground sloth named Sid, and a sardonic saber-toothed tiger named Diego, who come across a human baby and work together to return to its tribe. Also, additionally, the film occasionally follows Scrat, a speechless saber-toothed squirrel, who Wedge does the vocal effect of, who is perpetually searching for a place in the ground to bury his acorn. Now, the film was originally intended as a 2D animated film developed by Fox Animation Studios, which of course unfortunately shut down despite their previous film, which was Titan AE, didn't do so well. So it eventually became the first full-length animated film for the newly reformed Blue Sky, which had been reshaped from a VFX house to a computer animation studio. Anyway, the film got lots of great reviews and what have you, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get into the story. Scrat, a saber-toothed squirrel, attempts to find a place to store his acorn for the winter. Eventually, as he tries to stomp it into the ground, he inadvertently causes a large fissure to form in the ice that extends for miles before setting off a slab of glacier ice which nearly crushes him. He barely escapes but finds himself getting stepped on by a herd of prehistoric animals migrating south in order to escape the forthcoming ice age. Sid, a clumsy ground sloth, is left behind by his family, who have presumably done so previously, and decides to move on by himself, but is attacked by two Brontothers after he unknowingly ruins their meal and makes them angry. Sid is soon rescued by Manfred, or Manny, a cynical woolly mammoth heading north, who fights the rhinos off and continues on his path. So Sid joins him, in which he gives Manfred his nickname of Manny, not wanting to be alone and unprotected. Manny is annoyed by Sid's outgoing demeanor and wishes to migrate on his own, but Sid nonetheless continues to follow him. Meanwhile, Scrat found a small tree in which to deposit his acorn that stormy night, but as he moved his acorn up the tree and nearly dropped it, picking it back up as it nearly fell with his teeth, he then moved to the top of the tree and found a small hollow space in which to store his acorn. He was going to store it in the tree by raising it into the air so as to force it. At that moment, a bolt of lightning struck him, singeing off his fur and releasing his grip on his acorn. Meanwhile, Soto, the leader of a Smolodian pack, yes, which of course is saber-toothed tigers, wants revenge on a human tribe for previously killing half of his pack by eating the chief's infant son, Roshan. But he wants him alive in order to enjoy the full effects. Soto leads a raid on a human camp, during which Roshan's mother flees with her son. Cornered by Soto's lieutenant, Diego, she leaps down the waterfall with Roshan. As punishment for his failure to retrieve the boy, Diego is sent to find and retrieve him, while the rest of the pack waits for him at a mountain known as Half Peak. Solo informs Diego that if he fails, he will be killed in Roshan's place. Later, Sid and May encounter the mother struggling out of a river just in front of the falls from earlier. Exhausted from her plunge, the mother only has enough strength to entrust Roshan to May before she dies and disappears into the water. After much persuasion by Sid, they decide to return the baby, but when they reach the human settlement, they find it deserted. They meet up with Diego, who tells them that the tribe is traveling north and tries to talk them into giving the baby to him. However, both are suspicious of his intentions, and May instead tells Diego that he can guide them to the tribe. The four travel on, with Diego secretly leading them to Half Peak, where his pack is waiting to ambush them. After encountering several misadventures on their way, during which they have formed a bond, the herd meets Scrat, and May asks him if he's seen any humans, but Scrat disagreed. So he did charades and tried to tell them he saw Soto and his pack, but Diego flicked him before they even found out. The herd later reached a cave with several cave paintings. There, Sid and Diego learn about May's past and his previous interactions with the human hunters, in which they slaughtered his family consisting of his mate and child, leaving May a depressed loner. Later, the group almost reaches their destination, Half Peak, only to encounter a forming river of lava. May and Sid, along with Roshan, make it across safely, but Diego ends up hanging on a cliff about to fall into the lava. May saves him, narrowly avoiding certain death by falling to the lava on a chunk of ice and being launched to the surface. After a moment of recovery, Diego asks May why he would risk his life, to which May tells him that part of being in a herd is looking out for each other. The herd takes a break for the night, and Roshan takes his first walking steps towards Diego, who starts to have a change of heart about his mission after realizing the goodness in the herd. Meanwhile, while the herd and Roshan were asleep, Scrap put his acorn near the fire so the ice will melt, but it accidentally turns into a popcorn, much to his dismay. Excuse me. All right, now for the final act and the ending. You know the procedure, like always. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below to avoid the ending spoilers. If you've seen the movie already, please continue on after the 5 seconds are over with. Thank you, and here we go. Okay, you've been warned. The next day, as the herd approaches the ambush, Diego, now full of respect for May for saving his life, confesses to May and Sid about the ambush. As the pair turn hostile towards him, Diego pleads for their trust and says he can help them. The herd battles Solo's pack through trickery, but despite their efforts, Solo and his associates manage to corner Manny. Diego, in a last-ditch effort to save Manny, jumps in the way and is injured as a result. Manny then knocks a distracted Solo into a rock wall, causing several sharp icicles overhead to fall onto him, presumably impaling him to death. Horrified, the rest of the pack retreat. Diego, who has been wounded from his heroic act, is unable to move and tells Manny and Sid they have to go on without him, as time was running out to make it to the pass. Manny and Sid both insist that he can make it and offer to carry him, but Diego, after echoing Manny's values of being in a herd, closes his eyes and the others presume that he's dead. After mourning for a brief moment, they both continue on. The two manage to successfully return Roshan to his tribe and give their goodbyes. Diego, who survived the attack after all, makes it to the pass in time to see Roshan before he leaves. With the herd now having fully accepted each other, they begin to head off to warmer climates. 20,000 years later, Scrat, frozen on a block of ice, ends up on the shores of a tropical island. As the ice sea slowly melts, an acorn that was also frozen in the same ice block is washed away before he retrieves it. Enraged, Scrat breaks out the ice block before he finds a coconut and tries to stomp it into the ground only to accidentally trigger a volcanic eruption, with Scrat nervously chuckling at what happened. End of story. So what did I think of Ice Age? Well, I gotta say, this was really something. I mean, with Blue Sky, this was another big animation studio who was about to give Disney a run for their money. I mean, first DreamWorks, now this one. Well, actually Pixar anyway. Not just Disney. But I'm gonna say I really love this movie. I have watched it numerous times, more recently on Disney Plus. They actually have all the films on there. I'm gonna be watching them and I'm gonna review all of them, including the brand new one that just came out not so long ago. But anyway, it got mostly good response to mixed response and what have you. Yeah, and I will say it is pretty good. Now, Rotten Tomatoes consensus reads, even though it is treading over the same grounds as Monsters Incorporated and Shrek, it has enough wit and laughs to stand on its own. I completely agree. I really did enjoy it, and it was very funny. And what can I say? It just proved to have so much laughs and what have you. The the big moments that are Sub-Zero heroes, as they are called on the poster, get into, yeah, really something. Now, I really love the voice acting cast. I liked Ray Romano doing Manny, who was absolutely good, because, of course, his show, Everybody Loves Raymond, was still big at the time. Yeah, and let's see. Denis Leary voices Diego. Of course, I'd say this was just about before he made his big comeback on TV in Rescue Me. Yeah, and John Leguizamo voices Sid, who's absolutely a real nutcase in ways. Chris Wedge is really zany as Scrat. Yeah. We have Goran Visnik as Soto, very good. Jack Black doing voice of another one of Diego's kind, Zeke. Diedrich Bader does Oscar, another one. Let's see. We also have the voices of Alan Tudyk, Cedric the Entertainer, Stephen Root, Jane Krakowski, and Tara Strong, even. Anyway, this proved to be a big success and pretty big for Fox, since it was their first animated film in almost 2 years since Tie-In AE. Anyway, the film went on to make $383 million worldwide and became the 8th highest grossing film of 2002. And actually the highest grossing animated film of that year. It was nominated for the Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards as well, as a matter of fact. But let me, if I, give me a second. Yeah, but it unfortunately lost to the film Spirited Away. Nevertheless, the film started a big franchise for Fox, and we're going to have 4 sequels and a new 6th installment that just came out not so long ago, The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, which I am going to do a spoiler-free review of. There would also be 2 holiday specials as well. One in 2011, which was a Christmas special, and then an Easter special in 2016. There were several short films that were released in between, though, these years and what have you, the next 20 years, even before Blue Sky closed down, once Fox, now 20th Century Studios, got bought out by Disney. But anyway, I do like the story as well. It's pretty good. David Newman's score is good. I'm just gonna say, with a great voice acting cast, great music, great direction, and even a great story, in the end, would I recommend Ice Age? I would say yes. I'm gonna say this is a great film. This is one film you need to check out. It's really good. And I think you'll really enjoy it. But anyway, again, you can find all the Ice Age films on Disney Plus. Check them out if you haven't. Or you can still find them on physical media if you are still doing that, which that's fine. So what are your thoughts on Ice Age? Tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Ice Age The Meltdown from 2006. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, you may want to consider checking out my reviews for some of these other films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Blue Sky's last film. That was 2019 Spies in the Skies. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of 20th Century's recent hit animated feature, that being Ron's Gone Wrong from last year. Or if you want something just a little bit more, how should I put it to you this way, more fun, you can see my review of DreamWorks Animation's big hit, Shrek, which came out a year before this. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.